Hello. So, a lot of people have been asking about whether or not we're in a recession, myself included. So, it might be helpful to know that we do not decide if there's a recession. There's actually a board of 8 economists, and they are in the National Bureau of Economic Research. Okay. And these economists will make the final call. They won't do this right away. Okay. So, what they're going to do is wait, see if we have 2 consecutive quarters of a pullback in the economy. Okay, we've already been through 1. We're about to finish off 2. We will know that soon. But that won't be the only teller. Other tellers include unemployment, which is at a historical low. Okay, so you want to see all those things, or they are going to want to see all those things together to make a call that we are in a recession. You can look at this. The only analogy I can think of right now is like if a football game occurred and then the officials went and sat on the tape and reviewed the tape for like a month and then decided that they would let you know who won. It's kind of what that's like. So what that means is that when they determine that we are or are not in a recession, we'll just assume and say they're going to call a recession eventually. That will be anywhere from a month to 6 months to a year from now. That'd be on the higher end. And that will ultimately mean that when they do that, you will be able to know that we have also been in a recession for 6 months, a year, whenever it is, the duration goes that they make that call. You'll be able to sit back. The only good thing about this is that you'll be able to sit back and pat yourself on the back because you made it through 6 months of a recession or a year of a recession. You've already lived it. It's done. It's over. You don't have to relive the first half or first part, whatever this ends up becoming, of the recession. Okay. So we'll take that as a win, right? The other question is, what is a recession? Well, we just went over that. You're going to want to see the classic description is 2 quarters of an economic pullback or shrinkage, okay? And then along with joblessness. So unemployment needs to be higher than it is today to go along with that like general consensus of what a recession includes. That could happen. And there's a couple things that I personally look at and go, okay, I'm going to pony up and prepare for a prolonged recession. We don't even know if we're in a recession, so take or leave that for what it is. I'd rather prepare for the worst case scenario. The reason I'm going to do that is twofold. One, joblessness isn't where it could be eventually. Okay. That means that that means that the pain is still to come. If that scenario is true, which it may not be. Secondly, so we've got joblessness, and then we've got the fact that there's more credit being taken out right now, like credit cards, plastic, being used than there historically has been, which has been a historic, lower. It's been lower, right? Because we've been flooding the market with liquidity, cash. And people have gotten kind of their balance sheets in a good place overall. And now inflation's high and we're taking out more credit, okay? So that means that defaults, or it can mean, right? It can mean that default is to come. Again, those are 2 scenarios that would mean and indicate that the pain is tomorrow. It's later. It's not right now. And we're already low. So the market may have baked, some people say, they like to say, we baked that in. The market's low, but it's going, we've already sort of accounted for that. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if any of this is true, by the way. But these are the sorts of things that I'm hearing and are going through my head when I see all this. So I'd rather prepare for the worst case scenario. Back to this recession, the way I like to look at a recession, especially if you do it from like a macro level and you look back at what do those look like? Well, they normally look like a 2000 or in the 70s this happened, where you've got several years where the market ends low. Okay, you're going to have a yield that's negative. We're in that right now with a negative 20% yield. In a long-term downturn, recession, or even a depression, you're going to see a couple years of that. So this would be, we're 6 months in. The positive side of this is that sometimes past recessions that have gone down quickly have recovered more quickly. It's not always true. Recessions never repeat themselves in the same exact way again. Okay. So we know that history tells us that, but we don't know if that will be the case again. And also we're seeing these other indicators where that kind of show if a recession's to come, the pain is just sort of starting. The foundation is being built right now. It's a worst case scenario. There's a lot of reasons that that may not happen, and it could improve quicker. The Fed being one, right? If they start to pull back on that, the inflation and help with the inflation by continuing to increase interest rates. If they stop that all of a sudden, that could help the market down the road. Okay. They have that ability to do that. So we don't know what's going to happen. We do know that recessions happen. And the way that I like to look at this is like a giant, because I'm a mom, a giant toddler tantrum. The economy is throwing a giant toddler tantrum. And it doesn't make any sense. And no matter what you say or do, it doesn't really seem to help in the moment. But later, when the child recovers, you somehow know that like staying by them and not leaving them, words of encouragement, those things. And I would say that the analogy there is like the Fed participating by doing what they're doing right now. And there's other things that are going on. You just have to give it time though. The toddler's not going to like fix it and go, oh, mommy, thank you for saying what you said. We're all done now. You just have to ride it out for whatever reason. It's sort of part of the toddler's growth, just like it's part of the economy's growth over time. So you just kind of have to let the tantrum take place and hope that it ends sooner rather than later. That's how I like to look at it. I don't know if that's worth anything, but that's it for today. I just wanted to join the conversation that is very big right now going on around whether or not we are or not in a recession. We don't know. We will be told by the powers that be one day, and we will all know then. So we'll experience that together.